Napakasariwa po ng balitang ito. Naihahatid po sa atin ng Philstar Global Headlines. In Kuwait stocks, Philippines emphasizes duty to protect citizens abroad. Ngayon lamang po ito, May 18, 2023, about 3 hours ago. Manila, Philippines. While the Philippines fully respects Kuwaiti laws, Manila senior officials explained to counterparts in the Gulf nation that all actions taken by the government and its foreign service post in Kuwait are for the safety and welfare of Filipinos. Providing protection to a country's citizen abroad is a well-established duty of consular offices under international law and conventions, the Philippine government said in the statement dated May 18. Senior officials Senior officials from the DFA Department of Migrant Workers and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration engaged in bilateral talks at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kuwait from May 16 to 17 on visa issues that a migrant workers group said has kept more than 100 Filipinos a day from pushing through with work plans. Kuwaiti media reported last week that the country suspended the issuance of new work and entry visas for Filipinos after the Philippines allegedly violated provisions of the 2018 Bilateral Labor Agreement. The agreement has been up for review following the death of Jollibee Ronara in January, with the Philippines seeking better protections for its citizens in Kuwait. Possible reasons behind the ban. DFA Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs Eduardo de Vega previously floated that Kuwait may be using the visa suspension as a bargaining chip in negotiations after the Philippines suspended the deployment of new household workers in February in response to Ranara's death. The Gulf state is also apparently not happy with Manila's shelters for distressed and runaway overseas Filipino workers. De Vega said that putting up shelters in countries where there are many overseas Filipino workers is mandated by Philippine law. For us to violate our own laws mandating Philippine embassies to put up a center for Filipinos just so that we could convince any foreign country to resume hiring our workers would be dishonorable, he said in a separate statement on Thursday. The Filipino people have more dignity than that. Negotiations to continue. The Philippines reiterated that it remains open to constructive dialogue to address the issues. Meanwhile, De Vega said the long-term solutions to the problem cannot be ironed out with one diplomatic engagement. The alternative for us is to immediately agree to everything they insist on or for them to agree to everything we insist on, De Vega said. The ban only affects new visas issued, so those with existing residence visas, about 200,000 Filipino workers, can still travel to and work in Kuwait. Isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Muli po kayo nanonood ng Ran Santos Official at patungkol po doon sa binasa nating bilateral agreement between Philippines to Kuwait. Bagong-bagong balita po yan, around 3 hours lamang po na ibinaba ito. Nakapaloob po doon sa binasa natin na isa po sa kinokondena ng Kuwait government is yung mga shelters natin, which is we have shelters all around the world for our OFWs na mga nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang bansa. So para nakikita siguro nila na the more na meron tayong shelters, meron pong natatakbuhan or kahit yung mga hindi naman minamaltrato, pag naisipan nilang tumakas, meron po silang mapupuntahan. So isa siguro yon sa mga allegedly violations na nakikita nila na hindi po sinunod ng Pilipinas. Ito po ay naganap lamang or sumiklab sa pagkamatay po ni Miss Jollibee Ronara that was last January. And then, after that, matatandaan po natin na tayo po ang unang nagpatupad ng ban na hindi na po tayo magpapadala ng mga domestic workers or mga kasambahay na magtatrabaho sa loob ng bahay that was implemented last February. Ngayon po, this month, bigla-bigla pong nagkaroon ng desisyon ang Ministry of Kuwait na hindi po sila nagban lamang ng specific na visa. So, nilahat po nila ang working visa at entry visa. So, pero kung ikaw po ay meron na kayong employer at mababakasyon lamang kayo, babalik din kayo, hindi po kayo apektado. And then, babasahin naman po natin ngayon ang bilateral agreement na ibinaba mismo ng Department of Foreign Affairs, Philippines. Ito po. Department of Foreign Affairs, Republic of the Philippines, statement by the Philippine government on the conclusion of bilateral talks with Kuwait, May 18, 2023, in affirmation of the friendly and historic relations between the Republic of the Philippines and the State Kuwait. Both countries engaged in bilateral talks at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or MOFA, in Kuwait from 16-17 May this year, 2023. Representing the Philippines were senior officials from the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, and the Department of Migrant Workers, DMW, as well as its attached agency, the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA. During the formal talks, the Philippine delegation expressed its full respect for Kuwaiti laws and profound appreciation for the hospitality of its government and people to more than 200,000 Filipino workers who consider Kuwait as their second home. On issues related to services being rendered to our migrant workers, the delegation explained that all actions taken by the Philippine Embassy and the Philippine government are solely to ensure the safety and welfare of our own nationals. Providing protection to a country's citizens abroad is a well-established duty of consular offices under international law and conventions. We thank the Kuwait government for its hospitality throughout the delegation's two-day visit. The Philippines remains open to constructive dialogue on how to address current concerns. Meanwhile, the DFA and DMW wish to assure our migrant workers in Kuwait as well as their families of the government's full support and assistance. That was the statement by the Philippine government on conclusion of bilateral talks with Kuwait.